All right. Are you ready to make 2025 the best year of your life? Are you ready to finally have everything you want and level up in your health, your career, and your personal life? Well, if you are, you've come to the right place because today in this video, I am going to show you how to make it the best year of your life. Now, in case you haven't met me before, my name is Coach Dave, or that's what my clients and my family and friends call me. And today I'm going to coach you in what I call, or actually I have to maybe take not so much credit for it, my mentor, Todd Durkin, calls the annual strategic plan. All right. So today it's going to be a little bit different in terms of, how I'm presenting this video. I'm going to kind of coach you through the process that I do every year that helps me get clarity and vision on how to have the best year of my life. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, you may be asking me, what am I talking about when I say the annual strategic plan? Now, this right here is actually last year's. I'm currently working on my 2025, but I'm going to take you through at least a little bit of this. And if this is something that you like, I can either provide you with the link in the description to go buy Todd's God-Sized Dream Planner, or you can work with me and we can talk about that later. But the first thing I want to do is I want to tell you a little bit about when I started to do this. I've been setting goals for years, ever since I started really in my professional career. I just absolutely love goal setting. I kind of can geek out on it. And in previous videos, you may have heard me talk about, I can just geek out on goals and I love it, whether it be SMART goals or, habits, anything that kind of goes to that. But I've evolved over the years. And one of the things just in this past year, I realized that, I provide a lot of health and fitness coaching, and I love that. But there was something missing. I felt like there was something missing that I needed to go deeper. And by doing the annual strategic plan, it helped me. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in terms of what I achieved. But let's start with the first piece of it. In order for you to move forward, you have to look back. Now, I'm not saying dwell on the past. What I'm saying is you want to look back and just think about what you accomplished in the past year. And I'll tell you a little story about myself. I, as I mentioned, had been always setting goals, and most of them I would achieve. But I got to the point where I was like, okay, now what? What's next? And I didn't really appreciate or celebrate everything that I accomplished. And it kind of left me a little bit unfulfilled. So when I came across this annual strategic plan, it probably was 2017. I can't remember the date, maybe 2018. It had me start off by just asking what was great this past year. And when I started to just write down things that were great in my life, or things that just happened in the past year that were great, that were really awesome, I was like, man, my whole just kind of demeanor changed. I was like, I really did have a good year, instead of being what you call the gap. And that was, what had I not accomplished? And that's kind of was my mindset. Was I was always thinking about, okay, I didn't get this goal, or I didn't get that goal. But then again, when I go back and I look, man, I really did this or that. So the first thing I want you to do is and again, you have to write this stuff down. You've got to put it on paper. If you don't, it's not going to be beneficial for you. It can be in your head, but I'm telling you, you go back and look at it. I go back years now, and I've got several annual strategic plans where I'm like, okay, that was good. I forgot about that. So the first question is you want to go ahead and you want to ask yourself time to reflect. Write a few short sentences or paragraphs on what was great this past year. What did you do where you felt great? Where did you feel the most alive, or where did you feel the most fulfilled? And just start writing. Again, don't make it difficult. Just write down things that you did. And then you can start to get a little bit more momentum and say, hey, this is where I felt the best. This is where I really felt alive. But just write a few paragraphs about, or a few short sentences, whatever, about what went great in 2024. So just, if you're not at a desk or anything, go back and do this. Again, put pen to paper and write that down. The second thing I want you to also, as part of that, is what are you the most grateful for? Maybe it's a person, maybe it's something that happened. What is it that you are most grateful for that happened? And it could be professionally and it can be personally. So write that down. What is it that you are most grateful for? Now, the third thing is I want you to go ahead and write down some of the losses. Write down some of the things that, hey, I really wanted to do this, but I didn't. Let's get that on paper too. And then here's the thing. When it comes down to some goals, and I've seen this in my history, is I'll write down a goal, and sometimes when I look back and I didn't achieve it or accomplish it may not have been something that I really, really wanted. It may have been something that, yes, it was a goal I had, but I didn't really, truly want it. And so I kind of go back and revisit that and be like, okay, that's fine. But write down what are some of the losses. What are some of the things that, you didn't achieve? Then I want you to think about also is, what were some aha moments? Were there anything that happened throughout the year where you really kind of learned? Maybe you learned a little bit more about yourself, or you learned about people that you're hanging around, or you essentially learned that, hey, this isn't the road want to go down. And I just want to kind of circle back real quick. When I'm talking about creating the best year of your life, it's not just your health. You've got to look at different aspects. And we may go into this in another video, the 10 forms of wealth. But thinking about relationships, thinking about finances, thinking about your career, your professional, thinking about adventure. There's all sorts of, well, I say all sorts, there's 10 of them to be exact, forms of wealth. It's another exercise that I take my clients through, because the fitness industry, or even the health and fitness industry, what we want to call it, is really going holistic now. It's not just about, diet, nutrition, lifting weights, and cardiovascular. It's all about the whole person. So you're going to see more of that, but not to get off too much of a tangent here. I want you to think about that though. When you're talking about, the aha moments, what were the things that you kind of learned about yourself? Okay, so let's go ahead. So that's still the first part. We talked about accomplishments, could be personally, professionally. And then what were some of your bad habits? All right. What were some of your bad habits? And then I want you to think about, what is one habit that you can do starting in the new year, or whenever you watch this video, you decide that you're going to make the change. What is one habit that you can change and start doing? Because here's the thing. If we sit there and say, okay, I've got, this habit and that habit, whether it be, not getting enough sleep, scrolling too much on my social media, not getting enough hydration, and we start to do all these things, we want to make this big change all of a sudden, it kind of gets overwhelming. So I want you to think, what is one habit that you can start doing? So you can list down your bad habits and then look at those and be like, okay, what's the one habit that I need to start doing that's going to make the biggest impact or change? Then every month we'll add another habit. So 1 month, first month we're going to start with one habit, then the next month we'll have two, and so on. So we'll habit stack. All right, so now we're talking about those questions to ask yourself. All right, now once you get those questions down, I want you to start then thinking about, what is it that you want moving forward? What do you want to have happen in 2025? And I want you to just make a list of things that you want to do. And it may not be something that is really high priority, But have fun with this too. Think about it. Do you want to go on a trip? For me, we want to take a family trip over the summer. I also am wanting to relaunch my podcast. So I list out personal and professional things that I want to do. Okay, so I start creating a list and I just don't even think about it. I just start writing things down. Maybe I want to, read the Bible all the way through 360 days of devotionals. What are the things you want to do? Make a list of everything. And then what you're going to do is you're going to then look at what are the big five. What are your 5 things that you must do in order to make 2025 the best year of your life? And again, it's going to be a combination of personal and professional. All right. We're looking at the whole picture here because here's the thing. And again, I'm going to go back to what I was saying because, I am a health and fitness coach. But if professionally you're feeling drained, you're surrounded by people who are negative, it's going to pull you down. So maybe it's time for you to look for something else. Maybe it's time for you to get a new career. Maybe it's something you've been wanting to do that you've just been scared to do it. In time 2025 is going to make it your best year. I'm going for it. All right. So what are the 5 things? Personal and professional. Also, I'm going to add this little caveat. If you watched my previous video on your top habits, we're talking about ultimately changing the way you set goals from outcome-based goals to ultimately behavior-based or goals that you can control. All right. There's nothing wrong with setting, say, a weight loss goal and you want to lose 20 pounds, but you don't control the scale. You don't control your water intake in terms of, how much water you have when you step on the scale. I want you to think about outcome. How many workouts can I do in 2025? So think about that. How much hydration? Again, I've seen somebody do this. They say that ultimately they want to drink half their body in of ounces of water a day. They look at how many days, and there's like a crazy number. It's like some, thousands and thousands of ounces of water that they need to take in. You don't need to go that far. But what I'm saying is make some outcome-based goals. Make it to where you have control, that hey, listen, if I am reading 15, 20 pages, of a book that's going to help me with some sort of skill that's going to make me better in my career, that's the outcome-based habit, all right? So there you have it. Get your big 5 down, all right? This is just really the first section. Actually, I think that may be the first 2 sections if I'm correct. I think it's 2. That's total of 2 sections. And there's a lot more questions. But take some time over the holidays. You've got time. And listen, even if this is just too much for you, then just think about what is it you were the most grateful for this year? What is the biggest lesson you learned this year? And then what is it that you want to accomplish? Maybe there's only one thing. Maybe it's your health. Maybe that's the number one thing, but write it down. All right. And again, if you want to get a hard copy of this, I'm going to put the link. It's actually just todddurkin.com. You can go to his website. I think you can also buy it on Amazon. It's the God-Sized Dream Planner. It's well worth the investment. I get nothing out of it, but I am part of the Todd Durkin life coaching group. And this is something that I have been doing now and going even deeper. And I'm going to share it with you because this can change your life. This can make your year the best year of your life. All right. Now, if you got something out of it, I would love to hear in the comments, what is it the one thing that you're going to do? Maybe it is just, reflecting. Maybe it is putting down one of your big 5. And if you think that somebody else would benefit from this, please share it and subscribe to the channel. That helps. All right. We got more stuff coming. Again, I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to go for 48 videos next year. So that's basically 1 a week. So you can be prepared to at least get 1 a week from me. That's going to coach you to greatness. All right. This is Coach Dave signing off.